All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on our YouTube channel. It is Friday, May 3rd, 2024. Let's go ahead and get started. Dow futures are up 473 points, NASDAQ up 269, the S&P up 1.11%. The Russell's up 1.75% this morning. And the reason that it is up this morning is that we did have the non-farm payroll report, and the jobs number actually came in less than expected. You would think, oh no, why would stocks go up if there's less jobs? Again, we talked about labor costs. Again, that leads to inflation. The Fed also said on Wednesday, Federal Chair Powell said that if labor starts to kind of pull back a little bit, then they'll change their stance in terms of cutting rates. So with that being said, the Fed funds futures, this is the market that tracks Fed cuts, Fed hikes, interest rates. They are now pricing in a September cut from November. So that jobs number is boosting up stocks, which is pulling back again. The dollar's pulling back, which is boosting up stocks. 104.69. We broke below 105 was the level that I was watching for. Yields are pulling back, 4.487. 2-year Treasury yields are the lowest point since the first week of April. The VIX is down 6.27% at 1376. Crude oil is flat, 78.91. So is gasoline. Gold, flat, 23.13. That tells me that's a risk-on environment right now, meaning stocks are going to go higher because that's more of like a risk-off deal. And that's even with a weaker dollar, imagine. Silver, flat. Copper's up. Thank you. FCX needs a little bit of a boost, $4.55, up 1.63%. Euro dollar's up 71 pips. Again, that's the dollar, 107.95. Sorry, I was reading a comment here. Good morning. I think I'll have an apple for breakfast. There you go. Dollar yen, 152.24. That's down 137 pips. That was at 160 just 2 days ago. It tapped it. Crazy market. 136.29 on dollar Canadian dollar. That's down 45 pips. Bitcoin is up 2.32% at 61,150. Ethereum above 3,000 at 3054, up 1.44%. And there you go. Let's go ahead and get started on S&P, kind of what we're seeing, what's happening. So here we go. Here's the S&P 500. Remember, we talked about that. What was it? Class or team? It could be class or team. We talked about that inverse hammer candle. Remember that? And I said, with that being said, I expect us to rise higher. And we did. We did yesterday, and we are today so far. Now, again, we remember Wednesday. Anything could happen. Things go crazy. We're starting to hit our head on some resistance here on S&P. So if you have any long positions, cough, cough, my Apple guys, we are in the money on those. We'll talk about that in a second. But we're getting relatively close to some very key resistance. So we might get a little choppy. This might be it for the day, at least in terms of the S&P. Got to get above 5170. We knew this was coming, team. That 50-day moving average. Again, we're going to tag it, and then we'll see if we just chop around there. If we start breaking above that, 5,200 or so, then we can really start talking about going long again, because now we have a downward channel breakout, and then we're going to target all-time highs. And that would be amazing if that happens. So temper expectations right now. The Dow is up 492. Doesn't mean you're going to need to add an additional risk here, especially into the weekend. It's been a hell of a week in terms with earnings and the Fed, and you have jobs numbers, all that good stuff. So, happy that we're at the end of the line here in terms of the week, because it's been a crazy one. But again, temper expectations. I know this looks great that, oh yeah, we're definitely going to go to the moon. 5170, it's getting close to that resistance. May chop a little bit. So I don't want you guys to have any time decay there. So let's go ahead and pivot to Apple. Yes, the good old Apple call. Good morning, Carlos. Is XM still a cup and handle the way Apple is? Yeah, we'll take a look at those together. So here's the Apple trade. First, I want to do is bring up the actual signal. And this one was a tough one to hold. I know everyone was like, God, this is a tough one, just for the fact that it was red and it was reversing. And then we had all these headlines, all that good stuff, all the stuff that prevents you from winning. So let's take a look at the Apple trade here. Thankfully, we bought time. Let's see. Apple. Here we go. This was on the 29th of April. And you can see the downward trend. And again, I did a video as well. That's on Instagram. And I also posted it here regarding the breakdown of the downward trend line and then the breakout to retest the resistance higher. And the call was that we were going to go higher. So let's take a look here at the 4 hour. It won't show up on the daily, but again, downward trend, breakout with the flag, same thing. And again, that breakout. So what's the level we're looking for? 186.76. That's that earnings gap to fill. That was really my target right there. So again, once we tag that, then obviously that would be a great thing. But we are in the money. 185 calls. Let's see if I can find it here. I just had it. 185 calls. And these are part of the public watch list as well. Let's see. Signals. Good news is that all the trades are here. Here we go. 429, 10:03 a.m. May 17, 185 calls at 156. We are in the money. We have 2 weeks. Okay. Downward trend line. Again, breakout. We know that. 185.28. Got to get to this gap fill here. 187, 186.76. So the questions I've been getting today was, should we close immediately? And again, right at the open, the spreads are a little screwy in the morning. So again, no need to rush. We have until May 17th and we're in the money. It's going to be nice. But again, if you see something you're really happy about, just take it and move on. And we'll go from there. But congratulations on that. We'll take a look and see how that opens. Since we're in the money, I'm looking around maybe 250% profit, just for the fact that it's May 17 was the expiry, and we were really out of the money. If we had it for like next week, yeah, we'd have a lot more profit. But again, I don't know. Really depends on demand. That is a complete estimate. So Apple, awesome work. Can't wait to see the trophy room. XOM. So XOM cup and handle, very similar to Apple in that sense of that downward trend breakout. Well, not really. More the cup and handle than anything else. See, you got the cup and you got the handle. It's just got to hold that support of 115.44. We don't have much catalyst and ExxonMobil the way we do with Apple with that earnings. ExxonMobil's earnings are done. So we would need a good flow of capital going into energy stocks. But so far, so good. And we got until June. So I'm holding this. Again, Apple was one that I was a little scarier for everybody since the expiry was for 2 weeks away. But Exxon, we can be patient at least and wait. If we were patient for Apple, you could be patient for Exxon. Good morning. Thoughts on Google puts? Probably not today. 170.48. No, you got the bounce here. 170.48. So puts, no, you would need to get below 166. And then you have a gap to fill here at 161. Congrats on Apple calls. Cheers. Awesome. Hope you guys got it. What are some stocks to own besides Apple? I wouldn't be able to go over all of that today, but if you go to our channel, we have the top 10 stocks of 2024. Make sure to check that out. Take a look at IWM. IWM is higher today, this morning, because of futures. I got perfect trend line bounce. Very nice. We are now trading at 203, so that puts us right around here, right near some resistance. So we got to break out of this, guys. Got to break above 204. It's probably going to fill this gap here at 204.46. If you break that, then we can take a look about going higher. But like I said with S&P, guys, you're starting to hit some resistance. The gap fill is right out here at 204.46. Get out of this. Get out of this. There you go. Let's add the alert there. 204.46 together. There's your daily gap. Let's go to ES one more time. This is live pricing. 51.66, guys. That's the level you want to break. That's your 50-day. More than likely, my expectation is that we're probably going to get just around there to tease everybody, and we'll just kind of hang around that area. If it breaks out, terrific, because then, again, channel breakout. We'll go higher to right here, 53.64, to this back to this trend line. Let's go to NASDAQ really quickly. NASDAQ futures. We're above the 20. You got the 50-day. So you got until 18,086 for a little more room. Again, we got the big push because of NFP, but stay above the 20-day, which is 17,820. Thoughts on BABA. BABA, we talked about that breakout. Let's see if I can find it. I got the chat. You got the little range here. Got the breakout. You're above the 200-day. I got an alert at 82.32. Then you have the gap to 85. So if we get above 82.32, I'm taking a look at 86. 86 call. So more than likely, Baba and Baidu are going to be part of the watch list this week. Target looks good for a break to the downside. Let's see it. I retested this kind of little bit of resistance here and it bounced off 156. So use 156 as your support for the time being. And Microsoft. Microsoft bouncing off support as well. 402 now. Waiting for 414 to go long on Microsoft. I would target around 430 to 440. More than likely 435. Thoughts on BA breaking on the daily? Yeah, you're right at the 200 on the 4 hour. Let's go to the daily chart. You need to get above the 50. It's at 180. So get me above 84.32. We could play long. We played short with earnings on Boeing. Then it soared higher and then pulled back. Luckily, Masterclass and I got it for 20%. Some may have held, but I didn't. But that was a wild roller coaster. So above 184.32, 185 or so, Boeing would be consideration for a long, probably to 197. So we'll see. All right. Other than that, guys, in terms of the day, I also got one more trade to look at. So we talked about Apple. Already kind of talked about that. Bank of America, downward trend, downward channel, looking like we're going to break out. This is the third time I've said that. We are going to break out eventually. I just don't know when. 37.68 is my target here short term. Once we do, that'll confirm this break, and then we're going to head up to 38.5 to 39. If we go ahead and zoom this out, you could see that Bank of America is pretty much knocking at the door. So we'll see what we get. Have a great rest of your day, team. I will see you guys this weekend for a weekly recap, and we'll go over Apple, we'll go over our trades, and we'll talk about it. Have a great rest of your morning. I will see you guys then. Cheers all.